Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Audio Judo. I'm Kyle.
And I'm Matthew.
And like I just said, this is Audio Judo, your podcast of music discovery. If you're a fan of Audio Judo, you might enjoy one of our other podcasts that we've helped bring to life.
Maybe not.
Maybe not. Who knows? But Throughline and Audio Judo Does Jazz are those two. Both are on and off hiatus from time to time, so we'll try to mention when new episodes are coming. Throughline is all about the common thread through an album, and Audio Judo Does Jazz is all about all things jazz related.
Yes, so this week we get to do my favorite episode of the year.
Ooh!
Randy's least favorite episode of the year.
The hardest one to edit. Sorry,
don't
Randy.
dawdle. Oh, no.
Don't dawdle.
Oh, I can spend the whole year thinking about this episode. And
Right.
get to be conscious of music throughout the year. Like, hey, did I like that? And hey, is that on a list? Does it make the list? Does it move up and down as the year progresses? And the answer to all that is yes.
Fair.
Yes. All that happens.
See, I, on the other hand, panic on December 29th.
Okay. I gotta find
What came out
I gotta
this
find
last
5
year?
albums.
What is on Google that says that what was released in 2025? No.
I have a ongoing list on my phone and in a notebook.
Yeah.
That I'm like, well, it's here, it's there. No, it moves down.
The
moves
power
up.
ranking.
Yeah, exactly. Because you have to. And it would, let's be fair, it was an odd year for me musically, though.
It was an odd year in general musically, I think.
I found that I absolutely love 2 of the albums on the list. So when Spotify puts out the wrapped list of what the hell you listen to, it was dominated by 2 particular records that I listened to exponentially more than everything else. Like everything else.
Wow.
I even traveled to Denver to see one of these records perform live in its entirety. And the other albums on the list, I really enjoyed. But they were more of a variety of, listen to them hardcore for about 10 days and then put it back on the shelf and go back to the other 2 records. And that's just kind of how the year progressed.
Interesting. See, I found to me, this was not a fantastic year for music. There was not a lot of albums that really, I was like, oh my God, this is amazing. I have to listen to this over and over and over again. There was a lot of music that came out, and some of it's good, but nothing that was like a real amazing standout, mind bender of an album for me this year. Yeah, I was honestly surprised looking back, because I've been doing the same thing. I've been keeping a list on my phone.
Yeah.
And I was going over it at the beginning of December and thinking like, oh, yeah, I forgot this album even came out this year because I haven't listened to it since it came out in February or whenever. So, yeah, I mean, again, not to say that 2025 wasn't a good, music year, because there's plenty of stuff that people were listening to, obviously, but kind of a weird one.
Yeah. All right.
A weird one.
So the way this works, if this is your first time joining us, these are not necessarily the best albums of the year, but they're our favorites. These are the albums we went back to multiple times to listen to during the year because something spoke to us. We all have different choices, and these are the 5 that appealed to me, and maybe I'll spur someone to go listen to these bands, find something new, or find something old that you forgot about. Kyle and I will alternate choices, talk a little bit about the band and the album, play a couple of clips, and move on. And Kyle, you started last year.
Yep.
So I will go ahead and go first, and we'll just
Sweet.
Get rolling right into this.
Yeah.
So my first choice of the year is an album called Never Enough by Turnstile. It's a band called Turnstile. This album was very late to the party for me. I really didn't discover it until the beginning of December, although the album had been released in June of this year, or last year, 2025. The sound of it kind of moves between this new punk sound and synthy alternative. But one of the more unique things about it is that they used really heavily reverbed vocals.
Oh.
Which for punk gives it a whole new flavor, because you're used to just very raw, like vocals pushed out to the front kind of for punk, but this is different. Turnstile was formed in 2010, grew out of Baltimore's hardcore scene. They released their debut EP, Pressure to Succeed, in 2011, their second EP, Step to Rhythm, in 2013. On January 13th, 2015, they released their debut full-length album, Nonstop Feeling, and it got a little love. It got to number 22 on the Heatseeker chart. Not bad.
Yeah.
And then they went through a number of personnel changes over the ensuing years, like a lot of bands do, released some indie albums and EPs, each with slightly more popularity than the last. And in August 2021, they released their next full-length album, Glow On, which proved to be the break that they needed. The album debuted at number 30 on the Billboard Top 200 and was met with universal acclaim from critics. It got listed at number 8 on Rolling Stone's Best 50 Albums of 2021, so that's not bad. And it earned them 3 Grammy nominations coming out of the gate.
Wow.
They supported Suicide Boys on tour and then supported My Chemical Romance's North American Reunion Tour, which obviously is huge.
Yeah.
But then the other shoe began to drop, as it does with a lot of young bands. Brady Ebert. Bradley Ebert? Brady Ebert. It's so weird to say. Like his name is Brady Ebert, but saying those two names together
Brady Ebert.
feels weird.
Brady Ebert. Weird.
Yeah, I don't know why. But he's one of the founding members of the group. Right before they were about to begin a headlining tour in 2022, he was removed from the band and replaced with a number of hired hands. Turns out the drummer had filed a restraining order against him for ongoing violence.
Oh.
That's a good reason to move on.
Yeah.
So Turnstile continued to tour extensively in 2023. They supported Blink-182 on their North American tour, which, again, huge.
Yeah.
And then this album, Never Enough, the one I selected for this year, is their fourth full-length album, and their first with new permanent guitarist Meg Mills. In the United States, Never Enough debuted at number 9 on the Billboard Top 200, marked Turnstile's highest charting album in the U.S., also debuted at number 1 on the top hard rock album charts, number 2 on the rock and alternative album charts, number 4 on the album sales chart. So that's no slouch, right? And what I love about it, it's another band for me that's kind of genre-defying. When we were listening back to the clips this second ago, you will not hear that. That's unfortunate. That's a failure on my part. But they're definitely rocky, very loud. There's some eclectic stuff on here, like flute solos, Kyle's favorites.
A flute solo.
It's got collaborations with Hayley Williams from Paramore and a rapper named Blood Orange, who's actually
I've
pretty
heard
good.
of him, yeah.
So there's a song on this record, and I'm not going to play a clip of this one song, so don't worry about it, Randy. I'm just going to talk about it for a second. The song is called Sun Shower. All right, so the first couple of minutes of it are straight punk, very loud, abrasive, awesome. And then there's this very quick, sudden shift, and the song slows down and turns into what I can only describe as, okay. Do you remember the displays at the end of an aisle at like Best Buy or Walmart that was all like weird nature sounds and stuff? And
Yes,
you press the button and it would play the stuff, right?
Oh, whale sound.
Yes, exactly.
Ooh, yes, I remember exactly what you're talking about.
It's like that. It's like if the song was like Ramones adjacent, and then it turned into like Abe Vigoda plays Sounds of the Grand Canyon on the bouzouki. It's so weird. It's like the quickest turn, and I had to look like, am I listening to the same? Did Spotify just screw me and switch to Zamfir? Hey, somehow they made it work though. It's actually it's actually interesting.
Huh.
The first clip I am going to play, though, is for a song called Light Design, and it just blends some of that really interesting programming they do with the loudness, and I love the sound of the guitars, the verb in his voice, has me feeling all some type of way. It's very 80s, kind of new wavy stuff, but very loud, and it sounds like this.
Never thought I'd be on my own, but I survived. Then you saw me standing alone, and it's all because of light design.
And the song is every lighting director's dream. The lyrics are, never thought I'd be on my own, but I survived. Then you saw me standing alone, and it's all because of your light design. I mean, that's super sweet to a lighting designer. God knows they don't get enough accolades out there at the front of house. F the video guy, we don't even see him. Let's just assume the lighting designer does that too, fuckers. Anyway. The other clip is from one of the more popular songs on the album called Seeing Stars, and it sounds like this. that's a good pickup, Randy. It does kind of sound like Sting.
Yeah.
He's got the way he sings. Obviously, he doesn't have an accent. He's from Baltimore, but it does sound like Sting. So this song got a very high-profile spotlight in a Taco Bell commercial that began airing nationwide in June of 2025. The ad, which also features their song "Birds," stars skateboarding legend Tony Hawk and promotes Taco Bell's Build Your Own Lux Cravings box. If you feel
Taco Bell, please fucking sponsor us. Taco Bell. Diarrhea only 55% of the time now. Taco Bell.
55.
Yeah,
It's just barely more than half.
They've reduced a lot since you and I used to eat there a long time ago.
So if you feel
I
that
assume.
song sounds familiar to you in some way, that's probably why. Also, the aforementioned Haley Williams and Blood Orange featured on that song on backing vocals, and it's mostly just wallpaper. They're actually not singing any words. It's just affecting stuff, which is very cool.
Yeah.
This album was nominated for is nominated for 5 Grammys this year,
Wow.
including Best Rock Album. So it may be worth a check out. It is Never Enough by Turnstile. Kyle,
It's a good
to
one,
you.
man. I had not heard that one at all. I'm going to have to check it out. So the first one on my list is Brandy Carlisle's Returning to Myself. Total step in the opposite direction from what we were just listening to. Very low-key, very acoustic-sounding album. It's Brandy Carlisle's 8th studio album. Came out in October 2025. She's had a really fun, good couple of years here.
Yeah.
In 2024, she collaborated with Elton John on the single Never Too Late, which was the theme song for his documentary of the same name, which was all about his final tour. That was actually nominated for an Academy Award for Best Original Song, which is pretty good. They also have become incredibly close friends. And they collaborated on an album earlier this year called Who Believes in Angels, which was released in April. Debuted on number 9 on the Billboard 200, number 1 on the UK albums chart. And they both performed on SNL for that same month to promote the album. And there's a fascinating little documentary where they interviewed Brandy Carlisle and Elton John about it. But they interviewed her before they interviewed them together. And they cut it together in a way where, so it's Elton John and Brandy Carlisle sitting there talking, and they're like, Elton John's like, yeah, it was a pretty collaborative, experience, and I think we really got along well or whatever. And then it cuts back to Brandy Carlisle about an hour before that, while she's having her makeup done, getting like pre-interviewed, and she's like, yeah, he was a real diva, and he like snapped his iPad in half and all this stuff, and like it's really funny. And then the interviewer will ask Elton John about that. He's like, oh well, of course, that's part of the creative process. Sometimes you just have to do those things. Like it's pretty funny. But she announced this album, Returning to Myself, on September 3rd of 2025, and released the title track at the same time. On its release, it was her 5th top 10 album on the Billboard 200 in the US. It's the 3rd time on the UK album charts. This album sounds really good. It's really well engineered. There were actually 9 different engineers credited on this album. 2 people credited with mastering, 1 with mixing, and 1 with mix engineering. So it's got a huge list of people who worked on it. But because of that, it sounds really, really good. For some reason online, everybody kept billing it as a synth rock Americana album, which are certainly words that you can use. It does not fit that bill for me. But you guys be the judge. This is from the title track, Returning to Myself.
Is it evolving, turning inward? Oh, what an easy way to be. Only kneeling at the altar of the great and mighty me.
What now? Synth?
Let me make sure I get this right. Synth rock Americana album.
No, I'm sorry.
Yeah. It was really well received by critics, though. Garnered a lot of praise for the lyrics and how personal it felt to Brandy Carlisle's life. Debuted at number 7 on the Billboard 200, number 30 on the UK albums chart, went to number 1 on the US Americana/folk albums chart, but not the
That I can
synth
see.
rock chart.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, right.
It also hit number 1 on the US Top Rock and Alternative Albums chart. There's another song on here that's really good that I think is going to probably have a pretty good life to it. It's called Church and State, and it sounds like this. So that one, there's a little bit more pop. It's a little bit more poppy. It's a little bit more synthy. It's a little bit more
Feels
upbeat.
political too.
It is, unsurprisingly. Written November 5th, 2024, the night of the U.S. presidential election. Brandy Carlisle was actually in the studio with longtime collaborators Phil and Tim Hansroth and Andrew Watt. They were listening to U2's Bullet in the Blue Sky, and they wrote this as a protest song, or at least a reflection album on what they saw going down in America at the time. I think this one will probably be, this is maybe the one track that I would say, like Randy just mentioned, there is a little bit of synth here. This is a little bit more.
Yeah, but a little bit of synth doesn't make it synth rock.
Right?
I mean, that's just accessory.
Yeah. It's weird classification.
Just filling in. Yeah.
Yeah. But, yeah, I think that one's going to go on to have quite a long life to it just because of the way that it sounds. And I think it'll start picking up here at some point in the near future. But there's also a track on here dedicated to Joni Mitchell that will absolutely make you cry listening to it. I can't fucking listen to it because I just start tearing up, even talking about
Not
it.
another one of those.
Right? And there's one co-written by Elton John and Bernie Taupin that's really good as well. So that's Returning to Myself by Brandy Carlisle.
I like it.
Yeah, it's a good album.
She has had several good years in a row.
Yeah.
She seemed to be everywhere for last couple of years.
Yeah.
On every award show, everywhere. So good for her.
Yeah.
My second choice is the album is called Everything, and the band is called Eureka Machines. It's a 6 full-length album by the British band, and yes, everybody, 3 of the 5 albums that I chose are by British artists. I have a thing. I love the music that British bands make, except for Oasis and Coldplay. But this is another one of the bands that seemed to kind of avoid my gaze for a very long time. The first thing to catch my attention this year was the name of the band. It's a good name. Doesn't exactly roll off the tongue, but it's an interesting choice, Eureka Machines. They're a British pop rock band based out of England who formed in 2007. The band consists of Chris Catalyst, who also plays in the Sisters of Mercy and another band called the Goddamn Whores. He's on lead vocals and guitar. Davros on guitar and backing vocals. Pete Heumann on bass guitar and backing vocals. And Wayne Inzane on drums. Yeah. Described as power pop by Classic Rock Magazine. They're something of a cottage industry. They put out their own records. They self-manage. They self-promote while they're touring. From the very beginning, they appear all in black stage clothes and white ties, always. They're always seen with black stage clothes and white ties, so it's very strange. And how do I know I'm on the cutting edge of music and listening to stuff that very few people do? Their Spotify page averages 1,164 monthly users. You know who averages more monthly downloads than that? We do.
So either they are cutting edge, they're up and coming artists, or they're shit. Those are the only two options.
The only two choices you have.
All right.
And I'm happy to be the guy that brings bands like this to listeners that would otherwise not hear them.
So now here's the question. Since we're now bringing this to people, do we also get to add that number to our total?
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, I think that's fair. Right?
I think it's fair.
All right.
The first song that I'm going to play gives me very sweet Green Day vibes. The song is called Back in the Back of Beyond. Not a lot to it. It's a great power punk song, good guitar, good vocals. Sounds like this.
Another shot of wisdom down the hatch. I guess he's back with even thicker skin and other similar cliches to dispatch. Promotion postponed. Back to the shoeboxes and we call it home. Where our heart fills up our heart. Back in the back of beyond. Exactly where I belong. Fire up and feel the wheels turn on and on and on.
So the band went through an 8-year gap between records as the main writer, singer, and guitarist worked with other bands, as I mentioned, Sisters of Mercy, and he also played in one incredibly popular band. So for 6 of that 8-year gap, Chris Catalyst was otherwise known as Nameless Ghoul. the lead guitarist for Ghost.
Oh,
That's pretty cool.
yeah.
Except he couldn't tell you who he was.
Right?
So he just had to be out there in a mask and makeup and weird shit. And, oh, you're Nameless Ghoul.
Yeah.
Oh. No one's going to
But
know.
I have a name.
Can I tell my mom I'm in the band? No.
Especially not your mom.
Yeah, she sucks. The second song is the closing track from the album called Beautiful Day, not to be confused with the song of the same name by U2. Most power pop songs that we know of are just a couple minutes long. This one is 6.5 minutes long.
Wow.
It's really good. It's like a choral masterpiece. He does all these cool layering things with his voice, of which I'm not going to play any. It touches on themes of struggle, choppy seas of life. It's ode to letting go as everyone gets older, it's typical stuff. Sounds like this.
Yeah.
It's an excellent record. It's an album that needs more listeners, band that could use some love, so go out there. I mean, 1,164, we get more love than that.
Right. So think about it like this. If every person that listens to this podcast were to go listen to that album once, it'd double their numbers.
Yeah.
So
Let's do it. The album is called Everything by the band Eureka Machines.
I wonder if they're available elsewhere too, because Spotify is kind of a shitty spot to listen to music, especially for indie bands. So
Yeah, I think there's Bandcamp.
yeah,
Yeah.
I say Bandcamp's probably the best.
Yeah.
iTunes is a little better. So is I can't think of the other service now, but there's a couple that are a little bit better for bands. But if you have to, if you've got Spotify, go listen to them on Spotify. At least it's something.
It's something.
My next one is another band that I'd not heard of before this year, probably because he's pretty new. Somber is his name, and the album is I Barely Know Her. Somber is a guy named Shane Michael Booz, an American singer, songwriter, and record producer. Matthew, he was born July 5th, 2005.
Shut up.
And this is the part where you can cue the GTA Grand Theft Auto I Just Died sound, and the video can just fade to black and white, and it can just say wasted across the middle of it because, yeah. The minute I saw that date, I was like, oh, fuck you. Just
Not even old enough to drink yet.
right?
Legally.
Not until later this year. He started experimenting with GarageBand when he was in elementary school. And then moved on. He found that he really liked making music. He moved on to Logic Pro and started to learn how to produce his own music online. And then it just kind of grew from there. So he's been doing it for over half his life at this point. He released his debut single, Nothing Left to Say, in October 2021, excuse me. He also adopted the stage name Somber upon the release of that debut single, and later explained that the name incorporated his initials, SMB, and reflected his emotional state at the time, which I refuse to believe anybody under 30 has an emotional state, but sure. He also he's released several singles and an EP since then. The EP is called In Another Life. I Barely Know Her, his first full-length album, came out August 22nd, 2025. Commercially, reached the top 5 position in Australia, the Czech Republic, Finland, Lithuania, New Zealand, Norway, Scotland, and Sweden, and a top 10 position in 12 other countries, including the US and UK. So for a debut album from somebody that young, amazing.
Yeah.
The album does include some of the singles that he's released, including this one, which is called 12 to 12.
Don't want anyone else from the
album?
I've listened to it. Yeah.
This is definitely, you can tell that this is a very new artist. He's obviously doing a lot of the production himself, but it sounds really good. His lyrics are still a little simplistic, but I think that just looking at the overall music and listening to this album, it's a good album, and I think he's got a lot of places where he's going to grow. I think this is another one of those artists that we'll see over the next few years. He'll probably come out with his sophomore album. I'd say probably late 2026, early 2027. And that one will be a big step up from this one. But I think this is a great place to get on board and start listening to him. Another one of his singles that made it onto the album is a song called Undressed. It was around for a while. It peaked at number 16 on the Hot 100 and number 11 on the Global 200 charts. Number 1 on the Hot Rock and Alt Songs chart. And back in July of 2025, he performed it on Jimmy Kimmel Live. Sounds like this. Like I said, all in all, this is a good album. I say go listen to it and make your own decision about it. But I think it's the beginning of something that's going to be very, very interesting. And I'm going to be curious to see where his career goes.
Yeah, it definitely has the new age singer-songwriter vibe to it.
Yes.
Where there's a lot of things going on. I feel like he has a lot of hand in a lot of the instrumentation. Mm-hmm. So he's probably doing a lot of that himself. Trying to fill up spaces, and yeah, it's good. It's good. It'll be interesting to see where that career goes.
Yeah.
Is that it?
That's it.
Yeah. There you go. My third choice is the album Portal by the band Balu Brigada. Balu Brigada. So this is the first band on the list for this year that I had any sort of familiarity with before the year started. Heather and I saw this band live in 2024 when they were the warm-up act for 21 Pilots on their Clancy tour. I didn't know anything before then. I was interested before I heard it because I figured it would be a very tough slot to be in, warming up for a band as eclectic as 21 Pilots. That can't be easy.
Yeah.
But they were excellent live. Just turned out they didn't have a proper album out yet, just a bunch of EPs. So it wouldn't be until 2025 that they released their first proper album, this album, Portal. So Balu Brigada was formed in 2016 in Auckland, New Zealand. Originally, the band was named Balu. You just did that.
Balu.
An homage to the character of the same name from the Disney film The Jungle Book. However, fearing legal troubles from Disney, as you should, the band was renamed to Balu Brigada. The band's first lineup had 4 members. Henry Beasley is the lead singer and guitarist, his older brother Charles as the drummer, and his younger brother Pierre on keyboards, and their childhood friend Guy Harrison on bass. Sometimes Pierre was not allowed to play in certain venues that they played in since he was only 15. Their first 2 singles were songs called The Weekend and Ricochet, appeared on their first EP, and then they started focusing more on writing and production after Pierre turned 18. Charles Beasley and Guy Harrison left over the next several years, leaving them as a duo, and they were multi-instrumentalists and dual vocalists, and the only 2 members of the band now. They released this album in May of this year, last year, 2025. My first 2 bands are a little louder, although both eclectic. This one is a little more in the alternative camp, but also another genre-shifting band. It's not always unique. It kind of sounds like The Strokes and a little bit of Tame Impala and maybe some generic indie rock kind of chucked into a blender and flown around. But it's still got like a bit of a fresh, young edge to it. The first clip is from a song called So Cold, serves as the album's true opener, and it sounds like this.
I took some photos of your face. I never wanted you to see them, 'cause it looked better in my head. The sun was up and you were backlit. Get Golden Gate girl. Get Golden Gate.
So that was my fault. I had them in the wrong order in my notes and played them in the wrong order. So that song was actually a song called Golden Gate Girl. I love he manipulates his voice in such a way, this talk singing kind of rappy thing that he does, both kind of like Tyler Joseph from 21 Pilots does, very simple or very similar thing.
Yeah.
They've described this track as a beautiful Frankenstein of diverse musical influences, and during their writing session, they used a style that they call the relay style. Pierre produced a solid version of the instrumental in 20 minutes, while Henry was out of the room. Henry then came in, responded by writing all the lyrics in 20 minutes, while Pierre was out of the room. So then they came back together and put the song together. I've never heard of that before, but the results are they're very cool. And they cited 3 specific. Go ahead.
I say there was a band that we talked about. I don't remember who it was that they wrote a couple of songs that way.
Yeah, I can't remember who it was.
Yeah, but same kind of a thing where they would be like, okay, you go away, I'm going to write all the music, and then you come in, you write all the lyrics after hearing me play it once, and then they kind of went back and forth and did that 2 or 3 times.
I understand how that works.
Yeah, crazy.
So they cited 3 specific influences or inspirations for this song's sound. One is the Yeah Yeah Yeahs, with that kind of picking guitar, Lou Reed for the deadpan conversational vocal delivery, and Charlie XCX for the pop-focused approach to lyric writing. And that all makes sense. It's got a bit of a psychedelic vibe to it, too.
You know who it sounds exactly like to me?
Who's that?
LCD Sound System.
Does it?
Yeah.
Oh.
Like his vocals and the music sounds to me exactly like LCD Sound System, which is good. That's a positive thing, but...
So the other song is from a song called So Cold, the one that I screwed up. And it's more of a reflection on dating your young kids. He's deciding whether or not the relationship should be ended or whether they should stay together. And this one is So Cold.
You say you might shake it up and try a different road. Where does this one lead to? Nobody knows. Used to know you well, now I'm chasing a ghost. Dancing with your skeletons, rattling bones. Reasons to stay, reasons to go. Another 30 ounces, probably just enough to cope. You're not impressed, I should've known. She knows it's over, always about it isn't like you.
What I do like about these guys is that the production's very slick. It sounds really good.
Yeah.
But they utilize a lot of found sounds in their songs, like blips and smacks and all kinds of stuff, which don't usually find their way into like this kind of synthy vibe.
Yeah.
So, yeah, the album is called Portal, and the band is Balu Brigada. Get that one a listen. And we want to take a break?
Yeah, let's take a quick break.
All right, take a break. We'll be back.
Welcome back. So my third album, new-ish band from Australia called the Folk Bitch Trio. The album's called Now Would Be a Good Time. Folk Bitch Trio, like I said, Australian musical trio. Duh. Made up of Grace Sinclair, Jeannie Pilkington, and Heidi Peverell. I hope I'm pronouncing those names right. They began in 2020 in Melbourne, releasing the single Headlights and playing around town. They then continued to release singles and collaborate with a bunch of other local artists. Now Would Be a Good Time is their debut album, released July 25th, 2025. Chart-wise, it hit number 19 in Australia, on the Australian albums chart, and number 34 on the New Zealand albums chart. Did not chart in the US, but starting to get a little bit more play over here. At the 2025 ARIA Music Awards, the album was nominated for Best Group for the Michael Gudinski Breakthrough Artist Award.
Oh, the classic Michael Gudinski Award.
Of course, yeah. For the Best Adult Contemporary Album and for Best Independent Release. So did a lot there. They have a really fun, unique sound that I like quite a bit. This is the title track. It's called God's a Different Sword.
Can't deny it, my body keeps score. But if you tell me that you need it, I can get up off my floor. Here I go. Just one more.
I'm beginning to realize I wrote each of these independently on like different days.
Yeah.
Right. And I'm beginning to realize how many of these I picked that were not only like first albums or early albums, but I wrote the same, like, it's another band that I think is just starting to break through that we'll hear more from in the future. Like, yeah, duh, Kyle. But I don't know. They have a very like Chapel Roan kind of a sound to me. And I like them quite a bit. This whole album is very low key. It's not like, very poppy or anything like that. This next track, it's called Sarah, and it sounds like this.
Your insecurities are showing now, gut-wrenching with all that self-doubt. And I'd like you to see me without your eyes. Please tell me you might go and try.
Mellow.
Yeah. The whole album is very mellow. It's a nice, relaxing listen. It's a good, like, afternoon on the couch listen album. But like I said, I like it a lot. I think that it's an album that probably didn't get as much love as it should have in the US and the UK. Go give it a listen.
What was it again?
It's Now Would Be a Good Time by the Folk Bitch Trio.
I just wanted to hear you say it again.
I have to put the emphasis on it. I can't not.
I just wanted you to say it again.
That's fair.
So my fourth album is called Even in Arcadia by Sleep Token. So, okay, now we get to the two records that dominated my listening history for the entire year. The first is this album, Even in Arcadia by Sleep Token. And honestly, this was not a band that I thought I would ever get into, let alone obsess over. I had heard of them on and off for the last couple of years, listened to parts of a couple of songs, and it's very possible that I chose the absolute wrong sections of songs to listen to. What I heard was very screamy, like death metal screaming. I have never liked that style of music. My brother loves it. I don't. And I just figured I would get around to listening to them a little and then move along to things that I actually enjoyed. In late March of last year, my youngest son, Jacob, came over and asked what I was listening to at the moment. And I rattled off a list of bands like Echo Pilot and Mammoth, and he brought up this band, Sleep Token. And I was like, yeah, that's just not for me. And he said, no, I should listen to their new single. It's called Caramel. And I said I would, and he said, no, now. So I put it on the overhead speakers in the house, and I listened. And I didn't want to tell him how much I liked it at the moment. Didn't want to give him that type of satisfaction. But I was blown away. The effortless move between styles, the production, the melody itself. And there's this screaming section. Yes, there is. But it didn't bother me at all. In fact, it kind of added to it. It was just another layer of their sound. So I started listening to their older stuff. And I was amazed. So Sleep Token was founded in London in 2016. Its members remain anonymous by wearing masks. This was another thing that usually set me back. Bands like Ghost, Gore, Slipknot. I don't know. The masks seem weird. But what the heck? Let's give it a shot. So the members, they remain anonymous. Not only do they wear masks, they remain anonymous. Rich Hobson of Metal Hammer explains that the members, who all wear masks and cloaks, obscure their faces, they don't talk on stage, and they've only ever done one interview with that very publication. It's actually 2 interviews. But
Wow.
So the lead singer and primary songwriter of the band is known by the moniker Vessel. Vessel and 2 are the only members of the band who have been credited as performers on Sleep Token's studio albums. It also 2 is also the only member, apart from Vessel, who has been given songwriting credits. Touring members include 3, 4, and Espera, who is a backing vocal trio. The description of the band's sound gets to the core of what makes them so interesting. They've been categorized in a wide range of genres, including alternative metal, post-rock metal, progressive metal, indie rock pop, and gent. But there's more. Emma Wilkes of Revolver noted elements of trap and jazz. They fuse heavy metal, electronica, hip-hop, modern-day gent, and progressive metal. There's a fluid approach to their genre, claiming they incorporate elements of everything from tech metal and alternative pop to R&B. It gets weird. They combine post-rock, post-classical, post-metal tropes with soulful indie pop vocals into a blend that sounds like nothing else. And that's the statement that intrigued me from the very beginning. A blend that sounds like nothing else. Here's a clip from the song Caramel. There's a shit ton going on here.
Yeah.
Randy said, don't dawdle. I'm about to dawdle. The song became the band's first top 10 single in the UK, first top 40 single in the US, was nominated for a Grammy for Best Rock Performance. It's soft and soothing and stripped down for the first 2 minutes. Then it starts to incorporate these poppy sounds, more instruments, pop-influenced chorus, pop sections paired with reggaeton beats. A breakdown in the style of metal, particularly deathcore, happens later. There's so much happening here. But lyrically, it's a change of pace for the band. So let me explain about that. Sleep Token has a lore. Much like 21 Pilots has established this very extensive lore with clues and Easter eggs and ideas stretched across albums, Sleep Token has done something similar. In 2017, Sleep Token's album published a description of the band which reads, "A band that goes above and beyond simply writing and playing music. Sleep Token are said to be the mortal representatives of the ancient deity known only as Sleep, led by the masked and cloaked figure appointed Vessel, the master creator behind the music. Since the band's formation, only 2 interviews have ever been granted. The first with Metal Hammer at the time of their signing, and Vessel explained the lore of the band. He said, "We're here to serve Sleep and protect his message." When asked about Sleep, he stated he is everywhere at all times. He said he encountered him in a dream with the promise of glory and magnificence. So it's a lot of hooey. It's very theatrical. A band's carving out a niche for themselves, making it mysterious, finding a way to get publicity in today's musical landscape. It's not an easy thing right now, so that's fine. I have no issue with that. And just about every song they wrote was an explanation for this worship and devotion to this deity Sleep. The lyrics were just further explorations of that idea. And then they got to this album, Even in Arcadia. And they had found success on the last album. Something shifted. Now there was this need by the public, by their fan base and media, to unmask them. They wanted to know who they were, what they were. People tried to dox them, would reveal things about them online. And the guys really want, it's all elaborate ruse, but all they want is to be left alone and
Yeah.
write music and protect his privacy and his family. So this song, Caramel, which all the other songs are about this deity, are really his battle with being famous. The lyrics are, every time they try to shout my real name just to get a rise from me, acting like I'm never stressed out by the hearsay. I guess that's what I get for trying to hide in the limelight. That's what I get for having 20/20 hindsight. Everybody wants eyes on them. I just want to hear you sing that top line. I just want you to party. And if you think I don't mean it, then I understand, but I'm still glad you came, so let me see those hands. So that's the total package right there. I know you might be a guy like Matthew on Audio Judo and might not think that I really mean the things that I say. And that's okay, but I'm still glad you're listening to the music and you're at the show, so let's celebrate. It's really smart
Yeah.
to do. And one of the things that I haven't addressed is the fact that the critics are torn about this band. Some critics absolutely loved it. They drink it up. Think it's smart, it's new, it's fresh. And then you get critics who say things like, it's the worst album I have heard in years and sounds like Maroon 5 if they had an iron deficiency. What the hell does that even mean? And I've read things like, they're the worst lyricist in the world. And I've looked up the guy, I'm like, sorry, that passage that I just read is smart. It's relatable. So frankly, just shut the fuck up because I don't want to hear it. So because this album is all over the place musically, for the second clip, I wanted to take something that had as much as I could jam into like a 55-second clip. So this is from the first song, Look to Windward, that has a few different sections of it. It sounds like this.
Wow.
So that one passage alone, there's metal, there's jazz, there's some other shit going on. It's like an amuse-bouche. It's almost 8 minutes long. It's shape-shifting, could honestly be an entire album by itself. And then, so I dug a little deeper. The song is called Look to Windward. It's taken from T.S. Eliot's poem, The Wasteland, a poem I studied extensively in high school. Okay, Sleep Token, now you have my attention fully. The section is from, the words look to windward are from the section Death by Water in that poem. It's called A Current Under Seas picked his bones in whispers. As he rose and fell, he passed the stages of his age and youth, entering the whirlpool. I am a total sucker for literary references, especially smart ones. Vessel's lyrics are, now I know why I woke up here on the shoreline coughing up blood in the twilight. Everything looks the same. He's merging these two things together. I don't have time to break it all down. Just trust me, it's smart. Oh, and I don't think I mentioned this. The album got to #1 in the US, #1 in the UK. That's right. It's my favorite album of the year. I have one critique of the album, a critique that keeps it from being the best album of the year, in my opinion. There are some minor problems ending songs. I think they have so many ideas that ending songs is kind of an afterthought. Otherwise, it would be the best. And I know that's weird to say. It is my favorite record of the year. And it is not the best record of the year. That's the truth. It's a record that I listen to constantly and will for the foreseeable future. But I think it is absolutely my favorite record, but I don't think it's the best record.
Cool. Band I'd never even heard of. I'll have to check them out.
Really?
Yeah.
You should check it out. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff there. And, you know, people are like, well, it's screamy. There's like, it's a 52-minute record. There's probably 2.5 minutes where there's screaming.
Oh, yeah, that's not bad.
Just
at
a
all.
little pieces here and there, but the rest of it, yeah, I really enjoy. So
Cool.
Even in Arcadia by Sleep Token.
Nice. Next one on my list is Deftones' Private Music. Deftones were one of those bands they were just like a mountain of a band when I was in high school.
Yeah.
So Around the Fur came out in 1987, set the stage for that. White Pony in 2000, right when I was going into high school, really cemented them as a band that had this unique sound at the time. And they still have that same unique sound. It's definitely it's kind of like an AC/DC thing. I think they've grown a little bit. They've changed. The band has cycled through a few people due to health issues and a car accident and all kinds of other things. But they still have been able to maintain that same sort of a sound that they had in the late 90s, in the early 2000s. And I think that that's something that's actually worth preserving, I guess is the right way to say it, because it is unique. Private Music was released August 22nd, 2025. And like I said, it sounds like a Deftones album. So it's the band's first album to feature Fred Sablin on bass. He does an excellent job. The bass actually stands out really nicely, but it doesn't overpower everything. Take a listen to the opening of this track, My Mind is a Mountain.
This was on my list.
Oh, really? Yeah.
So on my list, I took it off in November. But
Oh, really?
Yeah, this was on the list.
It's a good album. It's all around. Like I said, it's a Deftones album, and it's really well balanced. The whole album sounds good. One of the things that I thought was really interesting is their frontman Chino Moreno also played all the guitar on this, or most of the guitar on this, because Stephen Carpenter, their guitarist, had some health issues. It's actually why they had to cancel their performance at Glastonbury last year. Can't remember if it was 2024 or 2025, but they canceled a performance at Glastonbury because he got quite sick. Stephen Carpenter got quite sick. It turned out he had type 2 diabetes. So now hopefully he's getting some treatment and he'll be able to come back. But for the recording of this, Chino actually recorded most of the guitar parts, which I thought was kind of interesting. On release, this album was met with a ton of praise from critics, with a lot of 9 out of 10 reviews. Commercially, went to number 1 on the U.S. top rock and alt albums chart. That was hard to say. Number 1 on the UK rock and metal albums chart. Number 2 on the UK albums chart. And number 5 on the U.S. Billboard 200. As well as charting on 29 additional country charts. 18 of those were in a top 10 position. So obviously they've still got it.
Yeah.
They're still doing it. Some parts of the album are a little bit more ethereal, almost bordering on some like shoegaze style music. For example, this clap. For example, everybody clap. For example, this track is called Metal Dream. I am actually curious about this track, though. It's written as tilde Metal Dream on like the listing. And I'm curious to know if that means you are supposed to pronounce it as tilde Metal Dream or approximately Metal Dream.
Oh.
Or about Metal Dream, or if it's just a funny little symbol that they put before it.
Huh.
I couldn't find an answer to that. So, all in all, I think this is a great album if you like the Deftones, and if you don't like the Deftones, you probably won't like this album. But it's it is what it is. It's another album in their catalog that sounds really good.
Yeah, it's an excellent record.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it was fine. Like, I enjoyed listening to it this year. It just didn't go very many places that, I'm looking for something a little more interesting.
Yeah.
And it's very Deftonesy, so it's very good.
Yeah.
Yeah. So my last choice of the year, is an album called The Overview by Steven Wilson. This album is a masterpiece. I have spent the year saying it. I will continue to say it to all who listen, and even some who don't want to listen to me ramble on about it. I have talked ears off on planes. I have posted about it. Heather and I traveled to Denver to see it performed live, one of only 18 shows in the U.S. for a tour of 67 dates, and he played for almost 3 hours.
Wow.
It is one of the most fantastic pieces of music I have listened to in the past decade, easy. It should come as no surprise to anyone that listens to this show that I have a fascination with Steven Wilson as a musician. I was a very late fan of his, only really discovering him about 7 years ago when I finally listened to a Porcupine Tree album start to finish. But since then, his albums with that band and his solo records have been a repeat visitor on my top 5 lists. This is his 3rd solo appearance, and 1 PT album have been on this list, as well as 1 full-length episode on the Porcupine Tree album Deadwing.
Yeah.
His ability to write compelling music, great lyrics, to shift between sounds, his ability to compose interesting melodies that I've never heard before, he's made me a fan for life, and this album is no different. So this album, the entire album, is 42 minutes long, contains only 2 songs. It's true prog. His last couple albums have leaned more towards an electronic side, more stripped-down songs, more pop-sounding, but for this one, he went back to that progressive playground that he uses so effectively to craft an experience, not just a record. It is a concept LP based on the rather unsettling phenomenon known as the overview effect, which is the term used by astronauts to describe how they feel when they look down at Earth from space for the first time and realize that our planet is an insignificant blue marble in a vast universe. Wilson describes the overview as a Kubrickian journey into the darkness of outer space, seeing humanity for what it really is, tiny, insignificant, dwarfed by cosmic distances involving billions of years. You had me at Kubrickian. Musically, he uses everything he can. So many things on here. But lyrically, the song juxtaposes the minutiae of daily life. Rattling trash cans, supermarket lines, small-town goings-on, with the vast, incomprehensible expanse of time and space. So while he was making the record, he thought, who writes about small-town Britain better than anyone else? Ray Davies from the Kinks and Andy Partridge from XTC. He said, I don't know Ray, but I do know Andy. So he pitched him the ultimate challenge. Write something very Partridgey, dry wit, teacups, garden fences, but against a backdrop of collapsing stars and cosmic entropy. Of course he did a fantastic job, and it sounds like this.
A shopping bag broke, selling eggs and flour crashing down to the ground, just like star clusters smashing. But no one will give her a glance. They just shuffle on home in a trance. The tiniest lies fill their hives up with worry. To make it to church, well, she'll need to hurry. When late she will bow down contrite, while the meteor turns out the light. And there in a Lottery Street, a car isn't where it would normally be. The driver in tears about his payment arrears. Still nobody hears when the sun disappears in a galaxy apart.
It's so full. It's so good.
Yeah.
It's so good. So before I talk about the other clip, and remember, it's the other track. There's only 2. In the UK, it got to number 3 on the charts. Number 1 on the rock chart. Number 1 on the indie chart. It topped the charts in 3 other countries, all in Europe. And in the US, it got to number 139. Because, as I have said repeatedly, Americans just don't get it. They don't get it. Classic Rock Magazine voted it Album of the Year for 2025.
Wow.
Saying a phenomenally immersive listen and a stunning audio-visual spectacle, the overview combined transportive arrangements, hard-hitting songcraft, and existential questions in one commanding rock record. Polyglass said, in making an album with such nostalgic sensibilities, feels so timeless, Steven achieved something truly remarkable, both on record and on stages across the world this year. Take note, Americans. This is what music sounds like. The other track on the album is called The Overview, and it is more of a cosmological approach to the topic. It opens and closes with Wilson's wife, Rotem, doing a spoken word reading of what essentially amounts to the size of astronomical objects, size beyond 1 gigameter, 10 to the power of 9. And then she names a bunch of astronomical objects until you get to size beyond 1 yodometer, 10 to the power of 24, the biggest things in the universe. And then the song actually begins. And the song is essentially an astronaut's journey far from home, knowing that everything he knew and loved will be long dead if he ever returns. It's beautifully terrible and hard to fathom. It sounds like this.
Size beyond 1 exameter, 10 to the power of 18. Omega Centauri. Messier 54. Tarantula Nebula. Size beyond 1 zetameter, 10 to the power of 21. Milky Way. Andromeda Galaxy. Fornax Cluster.
So that second song is like 18, 19 minutes. And what I played is the first 2.5 minutes, I think, of that song sound like that. Mm-hmm. But I just wanted to give a flavor of, like, it's not just a band. Like, there's a lot more going on. That's why it's such a cinematic record to listen to. And I've been listening to prog since I was very little. And there are albums that touch your fundamental senses. Dark Side of the Moon, The Wall, Misplaced Childhood, Selling England by the Pound, Close to the Edge by Yes. And this is one of those records. It belongs at that level. It's an absolutely stunning record to listen to. And I can only get a few people to sit down and listen to it. But, you know, 3's better than none.
I feel like this is another one of those albums that you need to take an afternoon and put on a good set of headphones and sit on a couch and listen to it beginning to end and just experience it.
Yeah, and then seeing it perform live, and then he just did that out of the gate. Just did both parts in a row. Wow. So 42 minutes he just came out and played, and his band is absolutely stunning, as it should be. They're just fantastic musicians, him included, but he constantly rates himself as the worst musician in his band, and he's incredible. So they are all very, very good. I mean, for 42 minutes, you're just enraptured by this, because it is cinematic, because there's so much going on, and you're just kind of wrapped up in the whole thing. It's not just like, we're going to do a single, and then I'm going to do my hit, then I'm going to do a new thing, then I'm going to do this. It's just like, Heather even tolerated it. So, you know, I did elbow her at one point because I knew it was a little quieter section. I'm like, now would be a good time to go to the merch table. I'm going to wait here. You go ahead and go.
You go get one of everything.
One of everything. Okay, great. So, yeah, The Overview by Steven Wilson. Check it out, please.
Nice. So my fifth one, this might be the wildest album of 2025. It's by Rosalia. It's called Lux. Rosalia Villa Tobela was born 25th September 1992. She's known as Rosalia. She's a Spanish singer and songwriter. She found herself fascinated by Spanish folk music at age 14. She actually studied musicology at the Catalonia College of Music and graduated in 2017. Her graduation was actually marked by the release of her first album, which was a collaboration with a guy named Raul Referee, titled Los Angeles. Her second album, El Mar Querer, which is a reimagining of flamenco music, and it blended it with pop and hip-hop music. Received the Latin Grammy Award for Album of the Year, and it made Rolling Stone's 500 Greatest Albums of All Time list. It would launch her career onto the international music scene. Her third studio album is called Motomami. It was released in 2022, and it's a reggaeton album with some experimental twists thrown in just for good measure. So this is somebody, obviously, who experiments with music a lot, but does it very, very successfully. So 2025 saw the release of her fourth album, Lux, which is billed as a fusion of art, pop, classical, and avant-pop. I would definitely say it fits in with that. It is I don't even know how to describe it. It was recorded with the London Symphony Orchestra under the conduction of Daniel, I hope I pronounced his last name right here, Bjarnson. So there's a full symphony orchestra in it. It also features guest appearances by Bjork, Carmino, Dougie F., Estrella Morente, Sylvia Perez Cruz, Yaritza y su Esencia, Yves Tumor, collaborations with Angelica Negron and Caroline Shaw, doing some arrangements on here. Charlotte Gainsborough and Guy Manuel de Joven Cristo, the half of Daft Punk, composed some tracks on here. Noah Goldstein and Pharrell Williams produced it, and Venetian Snares is a guy who did some drum programming on here. They described it in a press release as exploring the lyrical themes of, quote, feminine mystique, transformation, and spirituality, end quote. All the songs on here, with the exception of one, I believe, are inspired by the lives of various female saints, including Hildegard of Bingen, Rabia al-Adwiya, Miriam, alongside Rosalia's relationship with God as a theme, her romantic relationships, and the work of writers Clarice Lispector and Simon Weil. Interestingly, the digital version of this only has 15 tracks, and the physical version has 18 tracks. So there are some songs you can only get on the physical if you buy the album. The track listing is split across 4 movements with lyrics in 14 different languages, each corresponding to a different female saint. A significant portion of the album's creation, which took between 2 and 3 years, was dedicated to Rosalia learning to sing in those various languages. So if you go and look up on Wikipedia the credits on this album, there are linguists credited with every language that she decided to sing on this album, because what she would do is write the song and then kind of do a rough translation using computers, and then go to a linguist and say, how would you turn this into music?
Oh, wow.
So it is
that's a lot of work.
Yeah. It's crazy. This is a really good example. This is the track Porcelana.
Mi piel es fina, de porcelana, rota en la esquina. Mi piel es fina, de porcelana, y de ella emana luz que ilumina, ruina divina. El placer anestesia mi dolor, el dolor anestesia mi placer. Lo que tengo, lo que hago es mi valor, y el dolor siempre vuelve a aparecer. En ti no creo, hasta que te derrames en mi pecho, dentro de mi corazón y mi cerebro. Como un cubata cae en mi garganta y se vierte en mi pelo hasta el suelo.
It has a sound to it like nothing I've ever heard before. It's a little bit all over the place. There's little elements of hip hop incorporated in it. It's very poppy in some points, but there's always that classical undercurrent to it. It's crazy. It is also somehow absolutely full to the bursting point with sound, but incredibly empty and spacious. Like it's crazy. I think a lot of it comes down to the engineering of it, because the sound is superb. I think a lot of it comes down to the craftsmanship she put behind it. It just it's totally unique. Critically, absolutely loved. 8 out of 10 or better across the board. The BBC's Mark Savage suggested that it could be Album of the Year pretty early on, and indeed, it does appear as number 1 on year-end best lists from Business Insider, Consequence, Dazed, Entertainment Weekly, The Guardian, The Independent, NPR, and Pop Matters, and it came in as a measly number 2 on the Billboard Best 50 Albums of 2025 list. So, commercially, hit number 1 on 11 worldwide charts, including top U.S. classical albums, U.S. top Latin albums, and U.S. world albums. Went to number 4 on the Billboard 200. It's already sold over 120,000 copies just in Spain, where Rosalia is from. Like I said, technically, I think it's a masterpiece. Another album that, sit down, listen with a really good set of speakers or a really good set of headphones, and you will be well rewarded. This next track is called Berghain. It's a track featuring Bjork and Yves Tumor.
The only way to save us is through divine intervention.
Obviously, Bork.
Yeah.
Bjork.
Bjork. Can we make Bjorky a verb? I think that's
so
fair,
Bjorky.
Right? It's so Bjorky. Yeah,
Very dramatic.
Yeah, it is. The whole album is like that, and I don't know. It's somehow, it all fits together perfectly, but it all sounds so different from one another. Every track sounds different. It really is. It's definitely not for everybody. It's definitely not something you're just going to put on and listen to in the background or whatever. And I'll be very honest, I might never listen to it again. It's because it's one of those things. I'm sure at some point I will.
I love it.
But it is an album that's not. It's not easy to listen to. You know what I mean? It's not.
Those clips weren't easy to listen to.
No.
It's very, very dramatic.
Yeah.
Like, whoa. In church.
Yeah, it definitely. It kind of feels like that. Yeah, it stands out really hard, I guess is a good way to put it. You have to actively sit and listen to it, or you're not going to get anything from it. It's just going to sound like noise. So
yeah.
So that's Lux by Rosalia.
But that's yeah. Did you happen to see what their number 1 pick of the year was?
I didn't even look. No.
I bet you it's Killing Geese. I tried to get into that record. I just did not like it.
I have not even listened to it yet.
Every list I looked at, Killing Geese, and I'm like, okay, all right, I get it. Let me listen to it. I'm like, I don't get it. Randy, are we just doing the honorable mentions? I'm just going to do my 3, and then he's going to do his 3.
Sure.
Okay. Just want to make sure you're ready clip wise for that. Okay. So honorable mentions. I have 3. Did you also have 3?
I do. Yes.
Okay. My first honorable mention is Breach by 21 Pilots. So after releasing Clancy in 2024, the duo returns with Breach this year, and while I like the record a lot, I thought Clancy was the superior record. But what do I know? Breach debuted at number 1 on the Billboard Top 200 with 200,000 album equivalent units in the first week, consisting of 40.68 million on-demand streams and 169,000 pure album copies sold. It marked 21 Pilots' second number 1 album in the country, following Blurry Face, the biggest opening week of their career, besting Trench. Breach also registered the largest debut for any rock album on the Billboard 200 since Tool's Fear Inoculum in 2019, as well as the largest vinyl sales week for a rock album since tracking began in 1991.
Wow.
All 13 tracks from the album charted in at least the top 40 of the U.S. rock and alternative songs chart. Clearly, I know nothing. Here's a clip from my favorite song in the album, Center Mass.
A tighter space than I used to know. Spread out wide no more. Pinch my shoulders close, hoping they misplace my reservation. Right this way. Okay.
You might have figured out.
I know.
You said you made it to the
sent to mass. That part they aim for, shrink it down to nothing and forgetting what the pain's for. I fall on my shirt sleeve to cover half of my face, bring my arms closer to my body, get as small as they say. They call it Santa Mass. That part they aim for.
It's a very good record.
Yeah.
I just thought they could do better. Clearly, I don't know anything, and I think my sons actually think this record's better than Clancy, and I don't. We're going to have arguments about that. My second honorable mention is an album called The Heart by a band called Grayscale. Album is the fourth by the American rock group. Their first since 2016, and it's the very first time I've ever heard of them. This album was on and off my top 5 many times since January, but at the end I just couldn't justify it. It's good, but there are more weaknesses on it than the other records on the list. The Heart continues Grayscale's tradition of blending emotional lyrics with a dynamic sound, and it's pop punk alternative rock. Here's a clip from the song Kept Me Alive.
With loud voices and prescribed medicines, hot, we skipped stones, it felt so American. You're so pretty, but don't try a little bit. You grew up more and healed better than I ever did. Still, you left the light on for me, I won't forget. Void sick, knew I was caught in things I shouldn't have been. When it's all lies, and my mind's too quiet. You're my one lifeline. You kept me alive and I mean it. Put your heart on the line when I need it. Somebody pulling me close, bury my head in your bones, found me and kept.
It's a good record. It's pretty predictable. There's enough predictable elements that it's just lacking something that keeps it from making it really, really great. But it's a good record. My third honorable mention is an album called Prisms by Shadow Academy. Shadow Academy was formed by Dan Avedon and Jim Roach after the two of them had been part of a musical comedy group called Ninja Sex Party. They were more or less writers and producers for them and decided they had more to say than just comedy, so they set about putting their own band together during the pandemic. Out of that was born Shadow Academy. I had their debut album on my top 5 of 2022, so here they are again. This album is good, but not as good as the last one, but it has some moments. Here's one from the song called Icarus. So that's my list for 2025.
Nice.
What do you got?
So the Lambrini Girls, Who Let the Dogs Out. The Lambrini Girls are an English punk rock band.
Is it a cover?
No, it's not. They did name it after the song, Who Let the Dogs Out, but ironically.
Oh.
They were formed in Brighton in the UK. Band consists of Phoebe Looney and Céline Massiera-Bosguelmez. I hope I pronounced that right.
Probably not.
Yeah, probably not. Let's be real here. Not at all. I mean, it's got is that a thing on my... No, it's the S with the little tail underneath.
Is that crumb on my computer?
I thought maybe it was for a second, but no, the minute I move the screen, it's the S with the little penis hanging out on the bottom or whatever it's called. I'm sure there's an English version of it. Tail penis. I don't know. Buzz. I think you pronounce it like a Z, like buzz.
Oh, okay. Booze.
I think it's Stanky on the Hangdown.
Stanky on the Hangdown. Anyways, album's called Who Let the Dogs Out. It's a fun punk album. They are a great, surprising punk band. You would not think that they would do really good punk music, but they did. It came out in January 2025, and this song is called No Homo.
I said I like the way she looked and then I said no homo. I tell a lie, I'm hypnotized by beauty that bestows her. Dressed like a daydream, I'll get down on one. The ethereal reflection, the sunrise is just for her. I said I liked her company and then I said no homo. I homo for sure. I like the place, but not in a gay way. No homo.
I should point out that I just did point out to Matthew, one of them is bisexual and one of them is a lesbian. So it's a song about falling in love with someone and hitting on them, but constantly being like, I hope you don't think I'm gay for this, but I think you're beautiful.
Cleverly ironic?
Cleverly ironic. Like good punk always is. Next one is Lola Young, and the album's called I'm Only Fucking Myself. I'm just picking them for the names. You guys.
I know you are.
No. Lola Emily Mary Young. She's an English musician born and raised in South London. In 2016, she won the under 16 category of Open Mic UK and reached the finals of Got What It Takes, which I guess is like a talent show.
Britain's Got Talent.
Yeah. And then went on to a pretty successful music career. I'm Only Fucking Myself is her third album, released September 2025.
Is she fucking other people on the other two albums?
I think she might be.
Okay.
Yes. But it's got a really funny cover where she's got a blow up doll with her face taped to it, which has been going around, like doing the rounds on the internet. It's pretty funny. But this song is called One Thing. It's a very poppy album.
That was well timed, Randy.
And it is one of those albums where it's like right there. I feel like it is one little tweak or something away from having broken through and become a major album.
Very poppy.
It's right there. Last one that I've got is Ollie Alexander, and the album is called Polari. Ollie is an English singer, songwriter, actor who rose to prominence as the lead singer of the pop band Years and Years. This is his debut solo album. It was released February 2025. Very interesting album. It sounds really unique, and I love the whole thing. But this is from the song Archangel.
Let me give you this memory to hold on to. You said you can do whatever you want, whenever you want, 'cause everything's yours tonight. Whatever you want, whenever you want, just open your eyes. Just say whatever you want, whenever you want, but baby, you've got to try. Whenever I think of him, I always remember that night.
Do. Again, very poppy.
Yeah.
Very like, and I honestly think that's why I bumped it from being one of the albums of the year, because it was a little too poppy for my tastes. I've listened to the album several times through the year, though. I like it quite a bit. There's a lot of cool history, like in the lyrics of the album. Even the title Polari was a language that was developed by closeted gay men in the UK from right around the time of World War II, that was used all the way through like the 90s and into the early 2000s to basically like talk with other gay men and figure out if they were actually like, on the down low.
Got it.
It's a really, really good album. And if you're into like pop music like that, it's worth a listen.
Yeah.
And if you hate pop music like that, then I wouldn't listen to it. But yeah. Also, just looked up the year-end list for Billboard top albums.
Yeah.
Like I said, Lux by Rosalia is number 2. Debbie Tirar Mas Fotos by Bad Bunny is number
Bad
1.
Bunny.
Yeah.
All right.
Which makes sense.
Yeah. Yes, it's a very popular record.
Yeah.
It's actually pretty good, too. So that's our list.
Yeah.
That is 16 albums to listen to, and let us know what you think about them.
Please.
we appreciate the input. You can get a hold of us at facebook.com/audiojudo or at Instagram at audio_judo, or you can send us an email at info@audiojudo.com, or you can find a fairly significant list of our videos at youtube.com/@audiojudo. Feel free to comment and let us know what you think about these records. Again, it's a very ongoing list. We try to start at the beginning of the year and keep track as best we can. There's plenty of albums that fall through the cracks that we don't listen to and can't possibly listen to. We do have full-time jobs. We have families. Like, you don't listen to everything. We listen to as much as we can.
However, if offered, Matthew will sell his family and quit his job to listen to albums for 18 hours a day.
I could listen to 8. I could do
somebody
that.
wants to give him some money for that.
Significant amount of money.
Because
I do like them. Yeah. So, you can take half. So let us know what you think about it. We have some Patreons to thank.
Yeah,
Patrons,
we do. So another year, another round of Patreons. Thank you all so much. At the Shout It Out Loud tier, Simon C., John R., and David W. At the Backstage Pass tier, Christian S., Michael A., Michael S., and Scott K. Thank you all so much. We are able to keep doing this because of your support. If you want to support us and maybe figure out early on what our albums of 2026 are going to be, go to patreon.com/audiojudo and you can sign up.
I mean, if the first track is any indication, there might be a Bruno Mars album on this list this year.
What?
That new song's pretty good.
What?
But yeah, we got albums coming up from. I have no idea what you have coming up, but I have an awful lot of Rush at the back half of this year. So sorry, Randy, because those episodes are longer. But other than that, we will talk to you again in 2 weeks. Thanks for stopping by. We appreciate it. Until then, bye-bye, everybody.
Bye, everybody.